Swillow here. This is going to become a VOD later, so let me just give a little introduction so that you guys have a little something right as soon as you start watching. So I'm streaming Sengoku Basara right now, and I'm going to discuss some stuff about this series, like what's going on with this series right now. Hold on. So the exact topic I was given is to talk about why Sengoku Basara needs another game, and how the latest one's combat still holds up. So let's get right into this. Let's pick a character. Let's pick a kind of simple character that I actually know how to play. A lot of these characters are very intricate, so I'm gonna take it simple. I don't remember any of these settings. I think this is like difficulty right here. Alright, so I want to talk about the history of Sengoku Basara. First off, this series was made in response to the success of Dynasty Warriors, or the Warriors games in general. And this was like Capcom's kind of knockoff to it. And the series started pretty strong. The first game was pretty popular, second game was really popular, third game was fairly popular, fourth game was decently popular as well. After that, they did the update to 4, which, you know, did alright. It had some drop off, but that's to be expected when you do an update of a game. But then after that, they made the Yukimura side story. Yo, what's up, Enrique? I'm just talking some Sengoku Basara right now. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask me about this series, and I'll discuss those as well. So, what I was just saying, the last game they made was the Yukimura game, the spin-off, which was kind of ironic because Koei Tecmo also was making a Yukimura spin-off. I don't know, if that was just the most impressive coincidence ever, or if it was really made in response. But basically, the Sengoku Basara Yukimura spin-off did not do well at all. I would say for a few reasons. One is that it wasn't really a real improvement over 4. It was kind of like a weird remix of content, and it was even missing some important things. And I would say secondly, because we just had 4, then we had an update to 4, and then we had this game, which was still kind of like a variation of 4. So there's a drop off because there wasn't it's basically 2 weird updates back to back rather than doing a proper sequel after an update, which I feel is important. You shouldn't be doing too many updates, otherwise you just get too much fall off in sales and popularity. So that's where we are now. The last game basically did so poorly that the series just kind of fell off. And Capcom has really high standards for themselves. If their games don't sell exceptionally well, they just kind of let it die. And exceptionally well for Capcom is actually kind of unrealistic sometimes. They're like, yo, if my game doesn't sell 2 million copies, it's a failure. And I mean, I think it's great that Capcom has high standards like that, because they do make really good games. They make high quality games. And I mean, you want to have standards, but their standards are a little dangerous sometimes because they're one of the few companies that can consider a million seller a failure. And that's why a lot of Capcom's IPs are dormant right now, or they've been dropped to super niche status because their standards are really high. And I'm surprised Sengoku Basara kind of lasts as long as it did. I think that Capcom kind of liked the series a lot, which I don't blame them because it's a great series. The characters are great, the aesthetic of it is great. So they just kind of said, hey, let's try to do something with this series, even though it's really niche and it's not performing to what we expect most of our games to perform. So then here we are. We're kind of in a state where the series is dropped so low that I feel like Capcom just kind of is letting it sleep right now. The thing is, if they want to come back with this series, they have to come back big. they have to do something. They have to do something like really powerful to bring it back, and they have to make an effort to market Japan and regions outside of Japan, because it's also a series that's very exclusive to Japan. It's only had like a couple games outside of Japan which were poorly marketed in how they were done. But yeah, so now I want to talk about combat. Like, the combat in this game is really interesting because it's not exactly like most other Musou games or like most other Musou knockoffs. Like, it does have the square strings, but as opposed to having like square triangle type stuff, it has basically command skill inputs. So you got like your triangle inputs, you can like press it or you can hold it to get different actions. You got like forward triangles, you got L1 plus stuff. I forget all the inputs. Let's see if I can find them in here. But yeah, basically it's kind of like a mixture. Here we go. So it's kind of like a mixture of Musou and a more traditional action game, I guess you could say, like Devil May Cry or something, having your standard string and then various command inputs that you can cancel into. So the combat in Sengoku Basara is really cool. Like, a lot of the things that make it cool is not only just it being like pretty deep itself, but it has a lot of style to it. Like, the characters have so much personality. The attack animations are super cool. So this just leads to Sengoku Basara being a really cool game. I mean, that's my favorite part about it, is the aesthetic for sure. I have like certain mixed feelings about the combat, which is not that it's bad, but it's like I feel like the combat in context to the gameplay isn't always like as good as it could be. Oh gosh, I can't see anything. My screen went black. It probably didn't show on a stream, but sometimes it does that. What's the keys out? Is he out? No, he's just running into the corner for no reason. Oh, he's out. Still kind of hit him. Yeah, so the combat in Sengoku Basara is really interesting because it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep in how many options the character, like not only the amount of options you have. Hey, what's up? What's up? Welcome. So the combat, like I was saying, the combat in Sengoku Basara, a lot of its appeal is a combination of its depth, like its visual aesthetic, and I would say that especially in the more recent games, like 3 and 4, so the first 2 games were actually super simple. The first 2 games were, all you had is like a square string and a couple of command skills, so it was actually incredibly simple. So a lot of the appeal of this series started off of its aesthetic, and I wouldn't say because I mean, it's not like the combat was terrible in the older games, but there wasn't like a lot to it. It was really just super straightforward, and a lot of the series appeal was built on the aesthetic and the character personalities and stuff like that. But in 3 and 4, this is like where we actually got some way more intricate combat. And I would say 3 was a pretty interesting game because I felt like it had a good mix of new and old. And 4 just kind of focused more on, I don't know, they really changed up the stage design in 4. So the stage design in 4 is kind of where it becomes a mixed bag, I feel. The combat is a direct improvement in 4 over 3, but I would say level design actually does affect combat in games in an indirect manner. Like, if your level design isn't built to encourage your combat system, then it kind of indirectly affects the combat. And that's what I feel like the level design in 4 does, is it actually harms the combat at times, because you're put in a lot of scenarios where instead of focusing on the depth of the characters and their movesets, you just kind of have to like force situations. Because you'll get a lot of, basically when I say that, that's because you'll get a lot of these mini games or these objectives that require you to work really fast. Like you just have to move fast, and you don't get like a lot of room to, and this is like in a game where the characters' movesets are a bit more dramatic, right? So you have like moves like this, like Hell Dragon, that's super slow, but it's really cool. It doesn't do like a lot of damage, but it's like you want to use it because it's a cool move. And the thing is, like, when you have these really tight, fast-paced objectives, you don't really get to use moves like that very much, because then you're not going to complete the objectives in time. So the level design in 4 is really wacky in that it doesn't promote the full use of the combat system. It wants you to just kind of cut to the chase and focus on moves that are more effective rather than doing things at a pace that fits the character. Yo, what's up? I definitely miss this series myself. I want to see it come back. I feel like it's gonna come back. It's just they gotta figure out how they want to bring it back. That's like the big question. Sorry, I'm like I'm doing a lot more talking than I am playing right now, so my play is really random because I'm more focused on talking rather than playing. But yeah, like I was saying, the level design in 4, even though the combat is good, the level design doesn't really allow the combat to, or it doesn't allow it to shine like it, I feel like, earlier games did. Like, earlier games better encourage the combat, despite having combat that isn't as complex. That's pretty much how I feel about it. Like, if you compare it to a Musou game, for instance, like Pirate Warriors or any Musou game really, like a lot of Musou games, they focus more on, they keep the level design in a way that allows you to just focus on the gameplay, the combat, and the movement, and the objectives, because they don't really have these overly intricate levels that are kind of getting in the way. I think if they did bring it back, would be like they did Dynasty Warriors games before 9, make them digital releases with foreign audio. Oh, I mean, I'm sure people would take that. The only problem is that I don't know if Capcom would be okay with that. What I was talking about earlier is how Capcom has ridiculously high standards for their games, right? So when Capcom makes a game, they want it to be a multi-million seller. They want it to be like they would of course want like a proper localization, probably too proper, because both times that Sengoku Basara games got localized, they felt the need to like do too much extra work. They went like, obviously the first game they changed it all the way to Devil Kings. They completely changed the theme and aesthetic of the game just to like localize it. And I mean, the second game was, they kept it like actual Sengoku Basara, but still, it still felt like they just kind of tried to make it a little bit different. So yeah, Capcom's, I don't know. I don't feel like Capcom's the kind of company that would settle for just dumping a Japanese voice game in a different country. They have too much pride. I don't know if that's pride or stubbornness or standards or a combination of everything really. It's probably just a combination of all of those. But Capcom's like the kind of company that's too strict. They're extremely special, yes. As I said earlier, Capcom's the only company that can have a game that sells 1 million copies and they consider it a failure. So yeah, Capcom's they're an interesting bunch. So that makes it hard because this series is a little bit niche. But Capcom doesn't like niche. They can't. Niche is not their vibe. They want all their games to just be big smash hits. And I don't think every game has to be like that. Why do I have this crab on my back? I'm actually surprised they haven't had a crossover in Monster Hunter. Well, honestly, it took them forever to even get a Resident Evil crossover. I'm surprised how long it took them to do Resident Evil crossover, considering that's like one of the only IPs they have that still regularly gets games. Oh god. But I would definitely take that. Yo, I don't know if you remember, but Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, they actually rumored to... There was a rumor that they were going to put, I think, Dante Masamune in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Yo, if that happened, that would have been the coolest character. Yo, I would have played that character non-stop if they put a Sengoku Basara character in Marvel. But yeah, Sengoku Basara, it's gotta come back. It'll come, I know it's gonna come back. I can like feel it. I actually think Capcom likes this series a lot. It's just that they're like stuck in this dilemma where they feel like it has to be popular. Which is why they're like not really doing anything with it. How do I extend this? I think I just gotta hold it. Okay, he just stood there and took that. My man. How do I forgot how to extend this move. I know you can extend that. I tried holding and I tried mashing. Maybe I gotta press like square or something. Maybe it's not trying. Oh, you can cancel into other stuff. I don't know. Oh, you can do it in the air. Why is this guy's health keeping back up? Oh god. There we go. I have this personal inscription on. The lock-on mechanics. Oh. A lock-on mechanic would actually be super nice. The only thing is, I don't know if this... I feel like I like Pirate Warriors lock-on better, or Berserk's. The only problem I have with like Warrior Orochi 4 lock-on is that it almost doesn't... I don't know how to explain it. It's like a lock-on that doesn't lock on. I mean, it still works well within the context of the game, I feel, but I feel like in Pirate Warriors lock-on, for instance, when you lock onto somebody, like, it's so easy to just focus that character down. Like, focus that character hardcore. In Warriors Orochi 4, it's like, when you lock on, you still have to kind of navigate your way. Which, I mean, isn't like a huge problem, but it works. It's definitely better than most other Musou games. I can agree with that. Hey, the deadest hack and slash. There is. Yes, it is dead. How do I tag? I forgot how to tag. Holy crap. There we go. Oh, I found out how to switch my moves too. Here we go. I don't think I have it in me to play this character right now. I don't think I remember his inputs. Let me see if I can like figure this character out. Yo, Kenshin is a real beast. I just gotta like remember how to play as him. I have no clue like what is that even supposed to do? Just makes everybody cold. Is this really the move I'm looking for? I was playing the I haven't played the DLC yet, but I played the free update. Yeah, it's actually really nice. I never actually finished the game, but I'm definitely gonna finish it now because of that update. I'm actually kind of glad I didn't finish the game just because of this update, because it's a game changer. It's basically like playing the game. It's basically like a new game in my opinion. Like for people that are like big into mechanics, it feels like you're playing a new game. This character is wild. I love this character. Oh, I saw that. I was watching Bloody Biscuit play through that Ventus mod. It actually looks really cool. Kingdom Hearts 2 is, that game's honestly pretty timeless, I feel. Everything about that game is just really perfect. Particularly Final Mix. The original, well, it's kind of interesting because like the original Kingdom Hearts 2 is not so good. It's actually really kind of bad, but it just shows like a testament that you can take a game and turn it into something really good. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2, it made it really hard for the rest of the series. Obviously because of how timeless Kingdom Hearts 2 design is, it makes it rough for other games to stand next to it. Because I don't feel like any other game in the series, I mean 1 isn't a bad game actually, 1's a pretty solid game, but it actually has some perks over Kingdom Hearts 2, but for the most part, like no other Kingdom Hearts game really has the leverage, and even 3. So like they improved 3, but I feel like 3's not gonna be, it's not gonna be timeless. Like it's good now. It's actually really good now, and I think a lot of people can actually look at it and be like proud of the game. They definitely made turn Kingdom Hearts 3 into something that's actually a good entry into the series. Just I don't know if it's actually gonna be a timeless game though. I'd really like if they would bring the Switch system to PWs. You're kind of forced to play Luffy through most of the story. You know what? I agree they should have a character switch. I'm actually surprised they don't have a character switch in 4, but what can you do? In Pirate Warriors 2, they did have a character switch during Awakening. Sorry. They did have a character switch during Awakening, but they took it out in 3. I don't know why. It was actually a cool mechanic. I've had the 3rd game and it was alright, but I've been considering the 4th. You're talking about Sengoku Basara, right? The smooth but limited. That's actually a really good way to put it. I'm assuming you're talking about Sengoku Basara. But yes, the 3rd game, so Sengoku Basara is really smooth, but I think what makes it feel limited is because the enemies are really bulky in the game. Like when you fight a boss, or the missions are bulky. Like you gotta do a lot of fighting throughout these missions, and I feel like in that context, that's why it feels limited. Because you have a decent move pool, but you're gonna run through that move pool like tons of times throughout a stage because of how bulky the enemies are, and you know, like the battle towers and stuff like that. So I can see where you're coming from with that statement. Like in a Musou game, usually your encounters are short and sweet. When you fight an officer, it's a short and sweet encounter, and like fighting peons it's all like everything's short and sweet. I feel you're not like overstaying your welcome when you play like a Koei Tecmo Musou game, unless it's like Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors. Those games have some pretty lengthy encounters, but they're still fun games too. Masamune and Sengoku Basara. He's a very badass character. I like him in... I like Koei's Masamune as well. Masamune is just... He's basically destined to be a badass. Like, he basically can't not be a badass, I feel. But yes, he's very badass in this game. The Wolverine Biker Samurai. I like that description. Yeah, I love that in the anime. His little, it's time to ride. I forget exactly what he says. But it's got like that, it's showtime. That like opening sequence, it's really nice. I actually gotta go find that as soon as I stop streaming. Sengoku Basara is like the good stuff. The characters, the character personalities, and all that stuff. I feel like that's really like what makes this series even above. I mean, there's definitely some people that, I mean, obviously the gameplay's become something, but I think like what really just makes Sengoku Basara is the characters, personalities, like the aesthetic. The aesthetic of the game is brilliant. I have a lot of fun with Byleth and Ultimate. Byleth actually looks... Byleth is like... I would say Byleth's definitely an interesting character, but a very hard character to play at a competitive level. I mean, like, I'm in Florida, and we have a lot of really good Smash players. So it's actually really hard to play a character like Byleth down here because because Byleth is a character that requires, because of how slow Byleth is, requires a lot of fundamental skill. But I do agree, Byleth's actually pretty fun. I tried her once. It's just a very hard character to play well. Wasn't there a Basara anniversary some time ago? Everyone hoped for a new game announcement, but we didn't get anything. There was. There's like something every year, I think. I think we just need a Fire Emblem fighting game. We need a Fire Emblem. Yes, Fire Emblem needs a lot of things besides another Smash character. A Fire Emblem fighting game? Yes. Fire Emblem Warrior sequel? Yes. Another Smash character? No. Whoops. I don't know what that was. Unless they want to add Lin. If they want to add Lin, then, you know, we can start talking. But... or even Hector. Hector would actually be kind of cool. Kill everything in one hit now. What's your first Muso? My first Muso was Dynasty Warriors 3. I was at my friend's house, and he's like, "Yo, I got this cool game," and we played it co-op. And I was like, "Yo, this is a cool game." And then after that, I went to the video store and I rented Dynasty Warriors 2, and I played that game. And then I rented Dynasty Warriors 3, played that game. Then I bought Dynasty Warriors 4, went hard on that game. After that, I think they had Samurai Warriors, right? Before they did Dynasty Warriors 5. I never played Dynasty Warriors 5. I played Samurai Warriors 1, and I was like, yo, this game's actually really cool. I actually kind of liked it more than Dynasty Warriors, just because like I like the whole samurai thing. Dang, I'm like really bad at this. I actually like Samurai Warriors more than Dynasty Warriors, just because of the whole samurai aesthetic. And I came back for Dynasty Warriors 6, which, by the way, I actually love Dynasty Warriors 6. Y'all can hate, but I love that game. I want to actually talk about Dynasty Warriors 6 a little bit, because this is a very special game in this series. For good and bad reasons. Which is your favorite? What's my favorite Dynasty Warriors? Dynasty... okay, my favorite is either 3 or 4. I don't know which one. So like 3, and I think I like 3 more in general, but 4 had Fuxi, or Fuxi, I don't know his name. The big sword dude. And I was like, yo, he was like a badass. I loved playing as him. But yeah, I didn't play 5. The reason I didn't play 5 is because I was fatigued. You know, you have no clue how much I played Dynasty Warriors 2, 3, and 4. And I saw Dynasty Warriors 5, and I was like, bro, this looks like the same game again. So I was like basically fatigued. I was like, I'm just gonna skip this because it looks the same as like the past 3 games that I've already spent hundreds of hours on. Yo, so hold on. Let me pause for a sec. Let's talk about Dynasty. Ooh, dropping my controller. Alright, so let me talk about Dynasty Warriors 6 for a minute, because I love this game. Dynasty Warriors 6 is not a bad game. It definitely had flaws, and it was a lot of unrealized potential, but let's like talk about what they did in Dynasty Warriors 6. So first of all, they changed the combat. They changed it to this Renbu system, right? Which is like a momentum-based combat system, which makes so much sense for a Muso, because in a way Muso, like, one, it promotes you to actually fight, Because think about Musou games now. Like a lot of people just run straight to the officers and KO ranking or something. But Renbu kind of encouraged you to strategically fight to keep your Renbu up. So it was like a combat momentum based system. I like that. The thing that was bad about it was you didn't have a lot of moves. It was like comparable to the first two Sengoku Basara games, where you only had like a couple command moves. So you're just like, I think that's why a lot of people didn't like it. Maybe not so much the Renbu itself, but because the combat system was so limited, you didn't have a lot of moves. But it was a genius idea. And it was like, I don't know, it was a cool idea. They could have expanded and refined it, I felt. But they just said, nah. But they had duels. Yo, they had duels. Those duels where the peons would circle around you while you and the officer fight. Those were cool. I like the old duels too, like when they actually took you to a duel arena. I don't know why they don't have duels anymore. It's kind of disappointing actually. But it was really cool how they did the duels on the field. They had like all the water. They made the maps more dynamic. There's like more elevation. Oh, I love Dynasty Warriors 6. Screw all you haters. Why not? I don't think you guys are all haters, but there's haters out there. I think if they made a sequel and refined, like if Dynasty Warriors 7 focused on refining what 6 started, it would have been crazy. But it's like Dynasty Warriors 7, they got scared. They went back to the basics pretty much, which is alright, I guess. It didn't, for me, I was like, whatever. I actually didn't like 7 that much. I didn't like 8 that much. I know a lot of people do like 7 and 8, which I respect that, because it went back to what was fundamentally successful, which makes sense. But like for me, like after I play the same thing so long, like I want to try different things. It's like, you know, you can only play the same system so long before it's kind of like, alright, I feel like I beat the game before I even played it at that point if it's just too much of the same thing. So Dynasty Warriors, okay, now we gotta talk about Dynasty Warriors 9. Dynasty Warriors 9, when I was first playing this game, I actually liked it so much. Yo, Dynasty Warriors, I had so much fun playing Dynasty Warriors 9. Pretty much for the same, I was just talking about why, because it's something different. So Dynasty Warriors 9 was really fun at first, because it was something new and different, and I had fun with it, but then I beat the game, and I'm like, yo, the replay value in this game sucks. There was like no post-game. You have an open world game, but there's no like post-game dungeons or like real post-game content, like you would expect an open world game to have. The character customization was boring. The mission structure was boring. All the missions literally felt the same. Jump over the wall, kill the lead officer. So it's like, you can it's like Dynasty Warriors 9 was fun at the beginning, but once you get to the end of the game, you're like, wow, this is just, there's nothing to it. And the combat is like, the ideas of the combat are nice, but they need to be fleshed out more. And it's too easy. Like the game's literally, they make you so strong. Like the jump cancels. I mean, you want to think in context that being able to just jump cancel and do all these crazy dynamic actions, it makes a game more fun. And it does at first. But after a while, you're like, you want to overcome challenges. And Dynasty Warriors 9 has no challenge to overcome, because you can be level 1, fighting like a level 100 enemy, max difficulty, you're gonna juggle him to death, because the combat system, the mechanics are too overtuned in your favor. Like, you just have too much power on your end, so the enemies just don't get a chance to play. They don't get a chance to play the game. You're too strong. There's a such thing as being too strong in a game, and that's what Dynasty Warriors 9 is. It's a game where you are way too strong. Your combat your capabilities compared to what the enemy can do, they're not balanced. There's no balance. And it's fun at the beginning because you're like, ooh, I get to be a badass, and like to style on these enemies and flex on them and stuff, but it's like after a while you're like, you're just playing like a feudal era training mode game. So that's the problem with Dynasty Warriors 9, is it didn't have a good post game, it didn't have good replayable content, and the combat system is busted. It's just, you're too strong. Warriors Orochi. Let's talk about a Warriors Orochi. So I played the first Warriors Orochi, and this game was so good. I mean, it had problems, but it, you know, obviously it was the idea of the crossover, the tag system. It was like the first Warriors game that had like crazy cancels and combos and stuff like that. Like in prior Warrior games, they weren't really like cancel heavy or like all that fancy. So Warriors Orochi was kind of the game that started that more technical side of the Muso series or Muso franchise, and it was kind of cool. But it was like it was a really simple game. Like there wasn't a lot of content. But sorry, I'm losing my track of thought right now. But the game mechanics were fun, right? Sorry, I'm all over the place. But the game mechanics were fun. Now, for the first game, it was alright, right? Because it was new. But then they made a second game. The second game was like more of the same. Felt kind of half-assed in my opinion. 3 was the same deal. Felt kind of half-assed. I don't know. Like, this is the thing, is that I know everybody likes Warriors Orochi. It's actually one of the. It's a really popular line. So I'm like a huge minority when I say that I don't care about Warriors Orochi. Like, I understand the appeal of the combat and the tag system, but everything else in the Warriors Orochi games is like weak. The level design is weak. The enemy layouts and challenge is weak. Like basically you have to play the games just to like make cool team combinations and do like fancy combos and stuff, because the actual gameplay element, like the content itself, is all, it's so weak. There's like, compared to other Warrior games that just have like really good level design, good post games, and good customization and stuff, like Warriors Orochi has none of that. It's just like riding entirely on the crossover aspect and the tag mechanics. It was like, so that's the thing for me. Like, I like my games to be well-rounded. I mean, I know you guys will probably watch my channel and you know that I love combos and doing combo videos, but that doesn't mean that that's all I care about in a game. I just do that kind of stuff because it's fun. It makes for fun video content, and I do like combos. I do like combos, but I actually like the entire game experience, the level design and the content and everything. So it's like, if the only thing that's fun in the game is making combos, then that's not a good game to me. I like a fun game, and then I can make combos in a game that I find fun. And Warriors Orochi 4, oh boy, yo, I could write a book on why I just, it's like, I want to like the game. I want to like a Warriors Orochi so much, but it's like, these games are so lazy. They're so lazy, it hurts. They could be like the best games in the series easy, but they're so lazy with them. So that's how I feel. I don't know. I don't even want to talk too much about it because it's just lazy. To me, it's straight laziness. That's all the series is. It's like a brilliant concept, like just bathing in laziness. And I try my hardest to like the games. I want to like the games. Warriors Orochi 4 Ultimate's coming out next week, I think? Is it next week or the week after next week? So I'm sitting here like, do I really want to do this? Do I want to do this? If I do it, it's for you guys. Because for me, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a little bit. I mean, I'll have a little bit of fun, but that's hard. I want to like Warriors Orochi though. That's the thing, is I do want to like the series, and I do like some of the ideas in this series. I think they don't treat it well. Pirate Warriors 4 though, you already know. I'm ready. I'm so hyped. I'm gonna be streaming. I swear, when that game comes out, I'm streaming it every day. Every single day. Maybe not every day, but I'm gonna try, because the multiplayer, like, I'm so hyped for the multiplayer. I want to try all the characters. You already know. So, Power Wars 4 is the real deal. Also, Persona 5 Scramble. Four-level building. Four-level buildings. Yo, buildings are dead. Buildings in Musa games are interesting to navigate. If you want to play all the Pirate Warriors games, then I would start from the beginning. If you want to play them all. I mean, I would say just play Pirate Warriors 3 and forget the first two. But if you actually want to play all of them, just start from the beginning. Don't play them out of order. Because basically each game was a big advancement over the previous, and it would be awkward to go backwards. Oh, like system? What would be the best way? Play 1 and 2 on, what was that, PS3? And then play 3 on PS4. Or you can just play them all on, I mean, you could play them all on PS3 if you wanted to, but the PS4 version of Pirate Warriors 4 is the best version. Or the Switch version is actually pretty good too. Play the Switch or the PS4 version. I agree. Like, okay, so Pirate Warriors 3... Basically, Pirate Warriors 3 didn't actually add a lot. So, I could see some instances of it feeling lazy, but it was kind of like... It was just like a super refinement, it felt like. It kind of felt like they just wanted to focus on adding more characters and like refining the mechanics. Can you play all of them on PC? Nah. Only 3's on PC. 1 and 2, no. I don't even think you can buy 1 or 2 digitally. I think you gotta like, actually find physical copies of these games. Sengoku Basara is such a hard game to come back to. Like, this is not a muscle memory game. I mean, it can be. You just have to play for a little bit. But, yeah. I don't know. Coming back to this game is really hard because every character plays so different. Every character has, like, such fine-tuned properties you gotta understand. So I'm always really bad at this game when I try to come back to it. Oh, Sengoku, or sorry, Persona 5 Scramble is getting its demo this week. I think it's a Friday? Thursday or Friday? It's the 6th. February 6th. In Japan. Japanese PSN. So we're gonna be playing some Persona 5 Scramble, which actually looks like Pirate Warriors. It actually looks more like Pirate Warriors than Pirate Warriors 4 does. In some ways, like the movement. Yeah, but seeing the super old models textures with the poor backgrounds and stuff, when PW4 looks so good. Yo, Pirate Warriors 4 does look good. Yo, okay, so Pirate Warriors 4 just looks straight up like the best Muso game production value-wise. The visuals and everything for Pirate Warriors 4 look really clean. Super clean. It's definitely like the cleanest looking Muso game. The levels are nice and colorful. Combat animations look good. Attack system, I agree. Yo, they need character swap if just so Sanji can be a playable character. Like, imagine that they don't have character swap even though they have a character that can't fight a chunk of the roster because of lore. So, okay, how is Sanji... So think about this. In Pirate Warriors 4, they don't have assists anymore, so how is Sanji going to even be playable in this game? Oh yeah, Persona 5 Scramble's already been confirmed to not be a Musou game at all. So yeah, you shouldn't go in. They're basically classifying it as an action RPG. It just has like Musou-like combat controls, pretty much. So yeah, I think if you're going into it just expecting straight up Musou, yeah, you're gonna be disappointed. But I'll take an action RPG. I like action RPGs too. Yep, poor Sanji. There's no character switch, there's no assist system. Sorry guys, I just picked my nose on stream. Couldn't help myself. I have like these sinuses lately. Having a switch would also let the whole Zoro shouldn't have a map feature to be put in. Doesn't help. I don't know. Maybe he'll like, maybe there's some secret techniques, something they figured out this time that'll allow Sanji to be playable. They have to because there's no assist system anymore, so there's something they haven't shown for him yet. They're canon spin-offs. Guys, we're playing Dance Dance Revolution and it's gotta be canon. It's gotta be canon. The time that we all went and had pizza with our friends and danced our night away, it was canon. I mean, I kind of like the idea that they make all their spin-offs canon, because I guess it... Oh, I forgot you can't block. I was sitting here trying to parry, but I forgot you can't even block with this six sword thing going on. This isn't related to any of the Warrior games, but have you ever played any of the Gundam Verse games? Yes, I played the ones on PSP. Like back when I had a hacked PSP. I played the Japanese ones. Gundam Verse games are actually really cool. It's just that you definitely have to know what you're getting into. They're a very different kind of game. I guess you could compare them to games like Virtual On. So I think like the Gundam Verse games are really good, but you just have to kind of know what you're getting into because they're more multiplayer driven. They're like fighting games pretty much, and they're not easy. They're really not easy games to play. They're really hard games to play. Do I remember? You remember how to do the Team Basara thing? No, I don't. I was actually trying to do that, but I don't even remember how to like. Oh god, I don't even know how to get out of this menu. I don't want to get rid of. I think I have to sell something. I don't even know what I can sell. All this stuff looks pretty important. Alright, so we can get rid of this. Guys, this is like Have you ever been in a situation where you don't know how to sell items? Because that's the situation I'm in right now. Is that it? Alright, there we go. We made it, guys. That's been the hardest part of the stream tonight. Selling items. Oh, that big spirit bomb thing? Yeah, it's actually... I mean, I use it just because it's so strong, but it's definitely like... I don't know. The whole sacred treasure mechanic, the whole... Okay, so here's the one thing I want to talk about in Warriors Orochi 4. So obviously we know like the big theme of Warriors Orochi is team. You build your team and you use your team. But the way they designed Warriors Orochi 4 is you have no reason to switch your character. There's no benefit to switching your character. They don't, like, if you have one character that's just straight up OP, you don't have a reason to switch because of how Sacred Treasure resource works and everything. See, obviously in the past games you had a reason to switch because, you know, like the resources were not shared. There was actual switch mechanics. They don't have that anymore. In Warriors Orochi 4, you don't have switch mechanics. You have shared resources. So you don't have... Basically, it's a team game where you don't have to play with team-minded. So that's like actually one of the worst things about Warriors Orochi 4 is that it's like, why do I switch my character when I can just pick the character who's clearly the strongest on my team? And that's how it is. I mean, you do have separate Muso bars, that's it, but switching your character just to like use their Muso, especially when Musos suck in the game, it's like, what? It doesn't really count. Not sure if you saw one of the gameplay previews of one of the latest Gundam game. They were fighting in a city and it looks super awkward. Is that the Gundam Versus one? If people are complaining about Gundam Verse, then I don't know. I don't know what they were expecting. If you're talking about New Gundam Breaker, then yes, I understand what you're talking about. Because New Gundam Breaker was a very controversial game. Or maybe you're talking about a completely different game that I'm not aware of. Got my stream. Yo, is anybody getting Grand Blue Fantasy Versus? It's coming out tomorrow. I'm getting it. I'm gonna stream it tomorrow. I want to play as, what's his face? That flame dude. Percival. What's his name? Sorry, I'm doing a terrible job at streaming right now. Honestly, I just wanted to talk. I wanted to talk more than I wanted to play. I just have the game here because that's what I was talking about. But I mean, really, I just wanted to talk, that's all. Yo, this character right here, I forget his name, but in Sengoku Basara 2, he was so busted. He was definitely like, I don't know if he was the best character, but he was like one of the best. because of his little run move. He was so busted. What's the game called again? Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Oh, definitely. I agree with that. I just get I have to get better at like being able to interact with the audience while I'm actually playing the game. That's like the big struggle for me, because I know obviously, especially if you're like a viewer of my channel, you're used to seeing me play games like at a decently advanced level, but when I'm streaming, I can't like get enough focus to play well. I mean, for some games I can. If it's like a game that I'm like super comfortable in, but like right now my gameplay is like really subpar. Gundam Operations 2. I think I saw, I think I know what game you're talking about. I see Kazunoko stream that game. You miss old Oichi? You know what? I do too. I don't like Demon Oichi at all. I mean, Demon Oichi sounds cool, and like the concept of it sounds cool, but I don't like it. I thought she was a way cooler with her side. Or whatever she had. Yeah, the new Demon Oichi? Nah. I don't mess with that. They should just give her both movesets. I mean, this is Capcom we're talking about. They have like 5 different versions of Ryu in Street Fighter, and they can't give Oichi like her actual unique moveset on top of her demon one. Ooh, I got Tadakatsu. I got my boy here. Let's do some bonus. I forgot to do all the grapple combinations. Oh my. You know, I actually emailed Namco Bandai. I emailed Namco Bandai about a week ago. I'm trying like so hard to see if I can get a review copy or even go to their office. I know they fly people, they let people visit their office. I don't know I don't know like what the criteria is, but I mean, I know I got a lot of views on my Pirate Warriors 3 content, so I tried to hit them up to see if I could come in and play or like record some Pirate Warriors 4 stuff. I feel like it's not gonna happen, but I tried. I want to. I want to like do some crazy stuff. The criteria is sucking at Muso. Yeah, that might actually be it. Because I saw that they invited a guy who plays mobile games, who plays their mobile One Piece games. Like instead of inviting people who actually played Pirate Warriors, the actual Pirate Warriors series, they invited the dude that plays the One Piece mobile game. So, I mean, at least they picked somebody who's actually playing the One Piece game, but you're not gonna hit up the people who actually play the series. See, okay, so the only problem I have with Pirate Wars 4 footage right now is air combat, right? So air combat is literally they're advertising this as the big new mechanic. They're even calling this like, they have some weird like name for this, like dynamic aerial Muso action, weird tagline. And we have yet to see there's not a single video on the internet, if there is, please send it to me, that shows someone using air combat in a competent way. Like, we see people go into the air and they just start whipping all over the place. We see people go into the air and just, I don't know. Basically, it looks like once people go into the air and all the footage, like, they completely lose control in every sense. I've seen like a couple of like, there's like a Zora video, I think, where a guy did a couple of kind of interesting things, but I think he did them on accident. It looked like he did them on accident. It wasn't consistent throughout the video, you know, like. So the thing is, I feel like we haven't got to see what air combat really is in the game, because everybody who's touched the game so far hasn't really been able to show it off. Air combat's been in Muso games, but not like this. And when I say not like this, it's because air combat's either really limited, you got like 1 or 2 attacks, which are kind of made to just get you back to the ground quickly, or it's like Gundam, where you have like where it's like really limited. You just have like one basic string, like a homing string. So the air combat's like, the thing about Pirate Wars 4 that's so weird is that the whole game is designed to be played on the ground. The levels are flat, the enemies are like very stationary on the ground, and when you jump in Pirate Wars, like all the footage you see, like when they jump, like the characters go so high. They're like so high in the air that you just basically start whipping everything if you don't launch the enemies or you don't properly like jump cancel to suck them up. So it's really weird. It looks weird, and it looks like it requires a lot more finesse compared to other warrior games. Like other warrior games, the air combat works because it's like more simple, or it's like more hold your hand in a way. But this combat, like this air combat, doesn't look as intuitive. It looks like you gotta actually kind of know what you're doing, otherwise it's probably better to just stay on the ground, so you're not like in the air swinging at nothing. Marco was the most air combat PW had previously. Pretty much, yeah. Marco has like a sort of air gimmick, but Marco also has like insanely huge hitboxes as well. He literally just like engulfs the whole screen in a way. So it kind of like works out for him, but then you got Luffy here who doesn't really have the same effect, or most other characters. So it's gonna be interesting. I wanna see how far the air combat can be pushed. Like, can we play an entire stage in the air? You see that's the first challenge that I'm putting on the table for any of you all. Beat a whole stage in Pirate Wars 4 in the air. Don't touch the ground. We're gonna find a way. There's gonna be a character, probably Sky type characters, because their stamina, it'll either be a speed type or a Sky type character. Because I know they have like stamina manipulation mechanics that will allow them to stay in the air longer. But yes, if we can, that's gonna be a real challenge. Beat a stage in Pirate Wars 4 without touching the ground. Take back Basara from the fangirls. Hey, but can you change your skills now? There was some gameplay where Katakuri, yes, you can change your skills. So you want to be Warriors Orchard 3 Louis Bay? You know, whatever we gotta do. Just don't touch the gun. Yes, you can change your skills, your R1 skills. So in Power Wars 4, you don't have a Muso, there's no more Muso attacks, and there's no more Awakening. I mean, there is, but technically there isn't. They're not actual mechanics now. Now you have to equip them as R1 skills. So if you want to use a Muso attack, you have to equip it. So that means you can play the game and just not have a Muso attack equipped. Which would make sense. Muso attacks aren't always that great. Like in Pirate Warriors 2 or Pirate Warriors 3, a lot of Muso attacks kind of suck. There's like characters that your Muso attack was either broken or it was really bad in Pirate Warriors 3. I'm curious to see how many skills you'll have to choose from. How many got cut from string combos? I'm assuming like all of the triangle strings got converted to either air combos or R1 skills. Because yeah, we lost the triangle strings, which was 3 different strings: triangle, 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 square, and triangle, triangle, square, square. So we lost those 3 strings. Those moves got to get converted either to be airborne moves or R1 moves. We lost some R1. We lost R1 moves as well. Like Luffy, his R1 was the punch. I don't know the actual name, but that got switched to his regular triangle. So now his just regular neutral triangle is what used to be his R1. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how I feel about that, but it is what it is. You think? There's a lot of, I just want to play the game. I just want to play the game and like see what's up. Because I'm watching all the footage and it kind of hurts to watch. Jet pistol, yes. I wanted to say jet pistol. I wanted to say jet pistol or like gum gum rocket or something. What do you think of the Evo lineup this year? It's kind of expected. I mean, obviously the big game that catches everybody off guard is Marvel 2, which is, I personally don't like to play Marvel 2, but I do like to watch it, so it'll be cool to watch. I'm happy that Grand Blue Fantasy Versus was in, but I mean that's kind of expected. It's a new game. It's hard not to expect it to be in. That's the game I'm most interested in. Under Night and Birth, I'm glad that it came back. You know, like, I don't play the game much anymore, but I do like the game, so I'm glad that a niche game like Under Night and Birth is getting a second chance at Evo. You know, it's cool. Every other game in the lineup is literally expected. There's no Mortal Kombat. I know some people are kind of like, whoa, no Mortal Kombat? I don't care. I don't like hate Mortal Kombat, but I don't play it. I played like 9, and I like 9. 10 was kind of okay. 11, I have no interest in playing. So it's whatever. It's, for me, like, it is kind of interesting that it's not there. I mean, it could have been there instead of Soul Calibur 6 probably. But I don't really care. But yeah, it's kind of surprising it was knocked out. Grand Blue to wait a bit before being added. I mean, I can understand what you're saying, but obviously they had I think they have a lot of faith in Arc. Arc is obviously basically the #1 fighting game company. Like when you think about companies that focus on fighting games, there's no company better than Arc right now. So pretty much most of the lineup is taken up by their games. Well, I guess Namco Bandai is actually putting up a fight. They got Tekken, they got Soul Calibur, and I mean, Dragon Ball Fighters is their IP. It's their game. They produced it. They published it, but Arc produced it. So we're gonna just say it's an Arc game. Yeah. I think Grand Blue looks like it's gonna be good though. I think I feel like I'm on Twitter a lot, and I think everybody's like actually really hyped for Grand Blue. I actually thought more people would be more divisive about it, but the hype's there. So I think Grand Blue's gonna be okay. Poor KOF? Yes. KOF? What can you do? SNK is actually a great company, but they just can't catch a break, I feel. But Samurai Showdown is there. Samurai Showdown's there. Samurai Showdown has actually been well received. So maybe someday they can get their King of Fighters series up there and actually like a mainstay in EVO. Do you really believe that PW4 has been in work for 3 years, knowing Koei's more like? Yeah, they mentioned it. They said right after Pirate Warriors 3 they were working on 4, so I think it's even been longer than 3 years, but I think so. When you look at, okay, so let's talk about Pirate Warriors 4 and why it looks like it's been in development for that long. The air combat, that means even for old characters like Luffy and stuff, they have to add whole new air strings. So that basically means that every character has like, I don't want to say twice as many attacks since they kind of did cut some attacks, but there's more new than, there's a lot of new attacks for every character. Also, they've added a lot of characters. They've redid like all the stages. The stages look a lot better now. The graphics in general look a lot better. Even the old move sets that were already there, the animations have been tweaked and changed. So it's like everything's been redone. The game's like just built, refined. So it definitely looks like they've been working on it for a long time. This is not like one of their quick projects. I can definitely see the work they put in to the game. So yeah, I do think it's been in development for longer than most Muso games have. Sorry guys, hold on a second. I'm trying to read stream chat on my phone because it's moving way too fast on the on the actual stream itself. Oh yeah, Grand Blue having 2 season pass announced already is very problematic. I mean, it's silly. I don't really care because if I like the game, I like the game. But I can see why it's kind of stupid, especially because the game only has 11 characters right now. You got 11 characters in your game, so the 2 season passes are probably going to have more than the default roster. Tales of Arise win. Tales of Arise win. That's a good question. Yo, what happened to Tales of Arise? Yo, that game, they just went silent. They announced it and it doesn't even exist right now. So pretty much they announced the game too early, I feel, but I guess it was because it's been so much time, they just wanted to let people know that yes, the Tales series does exist. It still exists. I think we'll see more on it in the summer though. Doesn't make sense. Let's see. Yeah, let's get 2 season passes for Pirate Wars 4. I hope they milk the hell out of this game. Yo, they can milk Pirate Wars 4 all day. I'll eat it up. Milk this game. Because you know Pirate Warriors 3 was like a game where it's like, dang, I wish they added stuff to it. So we got 9 character season pass. Make another one. Keep it going. Please do. Give me a reason to keep playing the game forever. Yeah, Pirate Wars 3 post-launch support was... See, you know what? With Pirate Wars 3, they completely missed the opportunity to have, what was it, 4th Gear Luffy? Because he came out, like, he was announced, like, almost a very short period of time after Pirate Warriors 3. They could have like added him as a DLC character. See, now it's like he's in Power Wars 4, but the hype moment's already gone, you know? Like, he's already been there for so long that it's not really hype anymore. I mean, it's gonna be hype to play as him, but they missed out on they missed out on the opportunity to actually add him while he was fresh and like, whoa. Instead, they let Burning Blood take the honors. One Piece Burning Blood got to be the game that came out with him while he was still fresh. Yo, what's up, Kyushu? How are you doing, my man? I want a costume bundle for each of the big 4 movies. Yo, I love the costumes in 3, so I hope they add a lot of costumes. I definitely want costumes. More costumes. I want everything. Costumes, characters, stages. I don't care. Just make stuff up. I'll take it all. They should have added Monet and Virgo. They could have, yeah. They have them like in the game already. Just finish their moveset and sell them, dude. You guys don't like money? You see? Okay, so you see how this works? When people, for the games that they should be selling DLC for, they don't. For the games that nobody wants DLC for, they just shovel it at you. Like Dynasty Warriors 9, I didn't want no DLC for that game. After the first season pass, I was like, I'm good. I'm straight. But they kept giving it. They just kept giving it and giving it and giving it. I don't think anybody wanted it. Nobody asked for that. But Pirate Warriors 3? Missed opportunity? Yes. Snake Man Luffy. I mean, Snake Man Luffy actually looks cool. And apparently he has the longest attack strings, from what I'm hearing. Bring back Ino. It's kind of crazy if Ino doesn't end up in Pirate Warriors 4. It's super crazy. Yeah, I'm not even playing anymore. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I just want to talk. I probably gotta stop streaming soon though, cause it's like 12:30. I want to wake up early for Grand Blue. What did you hate about Dynasty Warriors 9? I actually talked about it earlier, so I'm gonna keep it pretty brief. But Dynasty Warriors 9 had a bad post game. It had bad replayability. Once you beat the game, there's not like a good. They should have had a post game dungeon or castle or something. The combat was unbalanced. You were way too strong, so there was no challenge. Every mission played the same. That's like the 3 big gripes for Dynasty Warriors 9. Dang. Sorry, I'm just seeing some not so good stuff on social media. I don't know, it's gonna be, when Pirate Warriors 4 comes out, it's gonna be wild, guys. It's gonna be wild. I hope you all show up to the streams, put up some content, everybody record some content and put it on YouTube, please. We have to overpower like all of this really bad content for Pirate Warriors 4. So everybody get out there and represent, put your content out there. And send it to me on my Discord account. I want to watch it. I want to see everybody just go hard on Pirate Warriors 4. We're gonna represent. Yo, Kyushu, I'm definitely, I think like I was gonna do that collaboration project. I think I'm gonna like just switch that to Pirate Warriors 4. I'll do like an actual proper video announcement. Yo, James, you don't have a PS4? You know if you have a PS4 you can record, right? Straight from the PS4. What are you playing? What are you gonna play the game on? I mean, I'm streaming straight from the PS4 right now. I record most of my videos straight from the PS4 since I'm like too lazy to set up my capture card. Xbox? Can Xbox not record? I don't know. I honestly don't know anything about Xbox One. It's the first console in a gen I've never bought. Xbox One is the first. So, Xbox One is the first console in a gen I've never bought. I've owned every single console, every single gen, except Xbox One. So I know nothing about it. It can, but not to that extent. That's unfortunate. Yo, we're gonna be playing online for sure. I can't wait to play with everybody online. The online looks so much, oh my gosh, it looks like so much fun. I'm so happy that they made the online better, because that was like definitely one of the worst things in 3. The online was so bad. I'm gonna go crazy, play some bounty hunters, all that stuff. All the modes look like so much fun. Yo, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Yeah, I love Pirate Warriors. Can y'all tell I'm a fan? Pirate Warriors 3 online was very sad. Pirate Warriors 2 online was actually better than 3. Just because you had better maps to play online, but yes, when Pirate Warriors 4 comes out, yo, I'm taking like a week vacation. I'm out. I'm literally gonna just be playing this game 24 hours. When it drops, like, expect a 24-hour stream. Straight up. I mean, as long as I can stream without, like, dying, pretty much. Expect to stream that long. As long as I can stream without dying. And if I did die while streaming, at least I died playing Pirate Warriors, right? That's like the best way to look at it. So that's not a bad way to go. But no, we're not gonna die streaming. No, nobody die playing Pirate Warriors 4. Don't do that. It's a bad idea. We're gonna go crazy though. I'm so excited because like there's just so many things I want to try with the new combat. I just want to try all the characters. So excited. I don't even know where I'm gonna start. It's gonna be a good time though. I think I'm about to end this stream. It was the greatest pleasure to chat with all of you guys about Muso and whatever else. And I am gonna get Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. I don't know if I'm gonna stream it right in the morning when it's playable, or if I'm gonna do it afternoon, because I do have work. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably just wait until like the afternoon and be like a responsible adult. I don't want to be too much of a degenerate. But yeah, I'm gonna stream Grand Blue Fantasy Versus tomorrow. And then Persona 5 Scramble. And then maybe Warriors Orochi 4 Ultimate when that comes out. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Whatever. We're gonna have distractions until Pirate Warriors 4 comes out, is basically what I'm saying. But it's been a pleasure chatting with you all. Hope you all have a wonderful night, and I'm gonna end this stream. Thank you for watching. Peace.